stations are tuned in to.
Welcome to the Morning Express on Mainland 98.3 FM.
Papers on Mainland 98.3 pages of our papers as this morning as we look through the major stories, and he will be giving analysis to the major reports that we have on the front pages of our papers. We have our papers here: The Guardian, The Punch, Vanguard, in no particular order, and we'll be looking through some of the major stories there up until about 8:30, and by 8:30 we take a commercial break. By 8:40 we are back for Midland Focus, where we get to where you, our dear listener, get to join the conversation and give your own analysis. However, as regards two or more major, specific topics that we pick off the front pages of the papers this morning. So, before we go into the stories, there's a lot that is going on at this time in the country. Whilst we understand that, and today being Friday. Yes, even as you try to, go out there and have some Italawa conversations or some Italawa activities, it's also very, very important that you look out for your neighbor, you look out for yourself as well. And this is, this is the time for you to cut your clothes according to your size. Just ensure that even if you're going to have the Italawa activities, just ensure that you cut your coat according to your size, and don't forget that Nigeria at this time now is wisdom. It takes wisdom. You're right. It's very, very important. Just putting that out there. And also pay attention to your health. Very, very important, because trust me, this is not the time that you want to spend anything at the hospital at this time. The bills, the medical bills are out of this world. They're over the roof, and a lot of people are going through a lot in the hospitals. Even the hospitals themselves are going through a lot. So trust me, pay attention to your health. Drink enough water. Ensure that you drink enough water. We've been getting reports. A lot of people have been having persistent headaches, all right, and sometimes yes, or having a headache, and sometimes yes, it could be stress, and sometimes it could be that you're dehydrated. So whichever one it is, slow things down and ensure that you take a lot of water. Very, very important. All right, okay, so let's get into it, shall we? I have Fuad Sahid via the phone line. Good morning, Fuad. How are you doing?
Yeah, good morning, Sandra. Good.
All right, Fuad, please drink water.
I do that a lot, actually.
I don't see you do it, but I'll monitor you.
I do that a lot, actually.
It's all right.
I'm taking a lot of water. Helps me. There are people who say, look, you should also take maybe some warm water, lime, very early in the morning before any meal, open up your
It helps digestion, yes.
Digestion, open up your throat. But I think the water therapy is good.
Very good.
And it helps a lot.
Very, very good. Very, very good. Thank you very much, Said Fuad. Time check right now is 7:40.
Just sounds like my mom speaking to me this morning. She's always talking about water. Emma Momio.
No, but a lot is going on around me in these recent times, and everything just boils down to a lot of people only drink water only when they are eating or when they want to eat.
No, water is good, yeah.
You don't have to wait till you're thirsty. Sometimes you just time these things.
I remember that in the past, the old days of the new program on NTA then. There was this dietitian, Dr. Gaga. I remember on that show. I think New Dawn on 10, yeah. And he was always talking about water, the importance of water. And his own therapy was that don't take any other thing other than water. Water is just that thing when it comes to liquid for your body. So it's good to take water, really. There can't be too much of water in the system. It helps.
All right. Thank you very much, Said Fuad. And speaking of, being proactive as regards your health, there's something else I'd also like to bring our attention to before we go into the major stories for this morning. Fuad, I don't know if there are reports coming in. Maybe our government has started taking some proactive measures as regards integrity tests on our dams. I mean, the remaining dams across the country, so that we can avoid, a similar occurrence to what happened in Maiduguri. Are there measures? Do we have any reports coming in that maybe some other states have taken a cue from Borno State and let's check our dams, so let's not have what has happened to these people?
I listened to the NIMET officials yesterday. Saying that look, they did their own part of the job. They gave early warning. They gave red alert. They made enough forecast for the different emergency units. Yeah, to take proactive steps about what had happened in Maiduguri. Not just Maiduguri. That look, they had told them that look, this was going to happen, and they specifically talked about our dams, the integrity test on our dams, that they feel that negligence was one of the reasons why this flooding in Nigeria happened. And also what they are also saying is that we have to look at other dams. We also have dams in the southwest. We have dams in the north central part of the country.
Yes.
And in different parts of the country. And this is the time to look at our dams.
Yes.
Because the Maiduguri situation is an eye opener. People were sleeping and they woke up to find themselves in water, flood waters.
Look at that.
But again, you see, we can continue to talk about this in Sandra. I know that there was hardly any day that the papers reported this forecast of floods to come that we didn't spend so much time talking about it. You particularly always invest time talking about this warning, what had happened 2 years ago, and why we have to avoid the repeat of that. But you see, these things would have to happen if people are deliberate about fixing the problem, getting more proactive, getting intentional about it. But I've learned one thing about us in Nigeria, Sandra. After all is said and done, only little is done. So much is said, but only little is done. So I'm hoping that, as we are saying, if people are getting to work, looking at those dams, checking. Again, it's not just the dams, Sandra. Our water bodies, the river areas, the no-line areas where you have the rivers running around, because rivers can also overflow into community. And so people talk about the need for us to dredge the rivers more so that they can take in more water, collect more water, and then of course maybe create some form of embankment. There's also the storm drainage system arrangement and conversations. But look, we can say these things. We have people who are committed to looking into the problem and looking for a more sustainable solution. I doubt it really.
Well, I really hope something is being done, and let's not, because a lot of people, thousands of people are currently displaced in Borno State. It's just really unfortunate. Something that's, totally.
Some of them are, IDP camps have been created, but the report is saying that a lot of people are sleeping on the streets.
IDP camps, even
a lot of people are still sleeping on the streets.
IDP camp conversation is not even today. Have you seen the condition of living in some IDP camps?
Sandra, you don't want to even
Let's
talk
not
about
even go there. So
that's
that's just another conversation for another day. It's really unfortunate what's going on in some IDP camps. You see, there's even report coming in as regards rape and
sexual abuse,
exactly, harassment and so many other things that happen.
In fact, I think several reports have said that even the IDP camps have been a recruitment camp. For bandits, and we have several reports who have said that look, like a recruitment camp now for these insurgents and bandits. They take it without thinking about it.
Well, thank you very much, Said. For hard time check right now, it's 7:50 a.m. and this is Trends in the Papers on Mainland 98.3 FM. We're live on Facebook and YouTube at Mainland 98.3 FM, so you can join the conversation on both platforms. You can drop your submissions or your thoughts as the show progresses in the live chat section on both Facebook and YouTube. The handle to look out for is Mainland 98.3 FM. Let's go into the story for this morning, shall we? We'll start off with the major headline on the front page of the Punch. Edo governorship poll: opposition fears violence as PDP shuns peace accord. We have a rider here that says INEC distributes final batch of PVCs today as poll holds next Saturday. Abdusalam panel sues for peace. So the sign, all the 18 political parties converge for the peace accord signing, which we have all agreed it's a gentleman agreement between all parties to ensure that during the elections there's no violence or any sort. Everybody's going to adhere to some peace regulations, but the PDP refused to sign, saying that they have some of their reps now, senators, party members, in custody of police, and said that if they are not released, they're not going to. They were there, they were present at the peace signing accord, but they just refused to sign. What can you make of this action from the PDP?
Governor Obaseki met with General Abdulsalam Abubakar and some members of the peace accord team. And he was really very bitter. It sounded very bitter. That's Governor Obaseki now, talking about the fact that, look, there have been consistent harassment of the police for PDP members in Edo State. In fact, he mentioned the name of the IGP, which repeatedly said all of these was being orchestrated and being acted out on instructions of the IGP Tʀᴇɪᴅs Iṛ that, look, people are being taken away from their homes at night. He talked about a particular local government chairman that was recently arrested and whisked away from Edo State to Abuja. He's also talked about the fact that, look, if there are people standing trial on any offense, and those offenses were said to have been committed in Edo State, why take them to Abuja? So he complained bitterly about the police harassment and the fact that, look, the police is becoming very partisan and the upcoming elections in Edo State, so he really complained and all of the things that had happened in the state. And so it was not surprising to some of us when, even though they attended the peace rally, but they refused to sign. Sandra, they refused to sign. The chairman of the party was there. Other 17 political parties signed, but they actually refused to sign the peace accord. So, but General Abdulsalam, the IGP had responded to Obaseki saying that, look, those arrested, those party members he's talking about, were arrested because a police officer was killed. Recently a police officer was killed as things turned violent in Edo State, and that, look, if that's what Obaseki is not thinking it down. Are you with me, Sandra?
I'm with you.
Hello?
You sound very distant.
Hello?
I can hear you.
Hello?
All right, maybe we'll reconnect with you, Said Fuad. Sound very, very distant. Okay, well, the conversation still continues on that particular report or that particular headline on the front page of the Punch newspaper. But then this particular action from the PDP has sparked reactions from different, corners. With a lot of people have expressed concern as regards, what's going to happen at the election September 21st, next week, Saturday. But then the state PDP chairman, Anthony Azigbemi, and its governorship candidate, Aswe Gudalu, were present but stoutly declined to have their signatures appended. And we also have here, still on that particular one, INEC. However, the chief press secretary to INEC, Rotimi Oyekomi, in an interview, expressed worry that the PDP shunned the accord, which he said was geared towards ensuring a peaceful, free and fair governorship election. He said, and I quote, "It's unfortunate that the PDP decided not to sign the accord, but they can still do so. We appeal to them to have a change of heart and sign the accord, which is geared towards ensuring a peaceful, free and fair governorship election in Edo State. We don't have any fear as a commission because first, we know that Edo people are peace-loving. Secondly, security agencies have assured us, that is INEC, that they will not allow any form of violence. However, we are concerned that the PDP is not in the fold as far as the peace accord is concerned." So I'm a little bit,
INEC again has to do its own job. Basically, you see, the peace accord, Sandra, is just merely ceremonial. We've signed peace accord in the past, and we've seen elections turn violent, right? In the last presidential election, there was all the presidential candidates signed the peace accord. Yes. But during the elections, you saw what happened. Again, people can have the ceremony, but how committed are they for peace really during the election? People are still going to snatch ballot boxes. People are still going to harass people. People are still going to beat people up. Some said that they are going to deploy 35,000 policemen. But the question is, what will be their mode of operation? What's going to be the practice? Are they going to go there to ensure that all voters on election day is protected and then ensure that votes count? So it's not just the numbers that matter to me. What will be the instruction to them, and how professionally are they going to do their job on election day? So INEC should also do its own job. Get materials to election grounds early, train their professionals, and warn them to stay away from partisanship or corruption during the election. so that we can have an election that we'll be proud of, really. You know, this is an all-cycle election. Ondo is coming in October. In 2025, we also have all-cycle elections coming up. So whatever we do this year and next year's all-cycle elections will give us an indication of what to expect in 2027, Sandra.
Thank you very much. Now, moving on to PDP's conditions. PDP give conditions according to the state chairman, to Anthony, cousin of FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. Yes, so that's what we have here. Along with the state commissioner of police, Nemo Edwin Iwo, should also be redeployed.
But Wike is PDP now. So if the cousin, if they are saying the reg, the cousin to Wike, why is the PDP complaining that the cousin to the reg is a cousin to PDP, a PDP member?
They are not comfortable. They're not comfortable that he will conduct himself creditably.
But Sandra, do you know what? Just as we are complaining about our politicians who have also infiltrated the judiciary for a lot of well-meaning Nigerians, a lot of that has happened. I'm telling you, apart from the wreck, all of these ad hoc staff, returning officers, some of them are politically exposed people, members of political parties. I'm telling you, these are members of political parties. So it's not even the blood relationship that matters now. It is the partisanship that comes with some of the people we've appointed to manage our elections. So again, I don't know whether the reg can be changed this last minute, but if the PDP position is that strong, I think Professor Mahmoud Yakubu should look into it, and if there's a need for the sake of fairness, equity, and justice, to remove that reg if it's found to be somebody that's going to affect the integrity of the elections. Why not?
No, in
fact, he's saying that it's not just they want everybody removed.
Apparently, the commissioner, the state commissioner of police, Edo, also has a relationship with Mr. Wike. So both of them, they are not confident that both of them will be fair and just.
It's sounding a bit scandalous now, Sandra. It's sounding a bit scandalous. But whatever has to be done really to allow Edo people have a free and fair election. Whatever happens in Edo State next week Saturday, it will be indicating of the commitment of the president to a free and fair election as a Democrat. Because at the end of the day, the box stops at his desk. He's the commander-in-chief, and whatever he does in terms of his body language, in terms of his instruction and commitment to a free and fair election, and that's what you have to give to General Muhammadu Buhari, former President Muhammadu Buhari. Under him, we saw elections conducted to a reasonable level in terms of free and fair elections. See, it's unsafe. At least we look at what happened in Osun. So, because again, Buhari would hardly intervene in those elections. I know that. So, we are hoping to see the president also do the same thing. Commit to free and fair elections without necessarily intervening in those elections. Let the vote of the people count. That's what we're saying.
All right, thank you very much. It's just 1 minute past 8, and you're still on to trends in the papers on Mainland 98.3 FM. Moving on, but still on politics, on the front page of the Punch newspaper, we have here, PDP governors lose as NWC hands Wike Rivers state control. And that is, right there on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Is this a major concern for the people or for PDP in Rivers State? I don't know, but the minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, has solidified his position in the PDP leadership crisis, because now the National Working Committee also postponed the National Executive Committee meeting that was originally set for September 26 to October 24. And it was that committee that was supposed to overturn their decision.
You see, Sandra, we pray for the PDP. We can only pray for the soul of the PDP, really. Because again, we have to pray for the soul of the PDP for the sake of democracy, really. Because it's still the largest opposition political party we have in the country. So, but just like the PDP, you have the Labour Party, who also need serious prayers, and deliverance too. From the activities, the negative activities of their party members. But for this one, I think it's just a temporary moment, really. Because as we have it now, it's like the governors are now at loggerheads with the National Working Committee, as led by Umar Zamango. who is the acting national chairman of the party, and some ESCO members. Not all the ESCO members actually, but you have a sizable number of the ESCO members who, in their actions in recent times, seem to be loyal to some wiki and are working practically to just kill the party. If you are able to politically analyze what they are doing, you know that these are guys who are deliberately working to kill the party. But even they have 13 governors. I think the National Working Committee cannot be more powerful than 13 governors of the party, who now have it in their unanimous decision that Fubara is the leader of the PDP in Rivers State. It's going to be a long battle, really, in that party, for the soul of that party. But I think as an analyst, I just want to sit down and look for now. Let's see how it all ends. Because you have two committees that have been set up. One is supposed to be the disciplinary committee as led by Tʀᴇɪᴅs Elder Chief Tʀᴇɪᴅs, while you have the reconciliation committee by the former governor of Tuesday, 괰ᴜ. So I was hoping that those two committees would have concluded their job and make their recommendations to the National Working Committee before any decision is made. But I think the National Working Committee, as led by Umar Zumagom, has a different idea as to the future of the party. But again, Sandra, I think Nigerians should start to think about it. Why is it that suddenly the two major opposition political parties are in serious crisis? Is there something that we should pay attention to? Because again, we keep talking about opposition political party because of the vibrancy that it brings to democracy. So if you have the two major opposition political parties emerged in a needless, avoidable crisis, I think we should ring an alarm in our heads as to what is going on, especially towards the politics of 2027.
Thank you very much, Fuad. But I just want to ask a question, just very quickly. Who is the leader of a party in the state?
Well, the party structure.
Okay.
Well, the party structure in the state, and the machinery of the state. Naturally, the governor of the state takes charge of the party. Because whether you like it or not, political party activities are well coordinated when you have the resources to do so. And it's only the governor that can drop that kind of money. Apart from that, he's the one that has the state structure to really pull things together for the party. But it's not in all things that you have the governor controlling the party. In Lagos, for example, the governor does not control anything. The last time a governor controlled the party structure in Lagos was under President Governor Bola Ahmed. Other governors have always been under
is that right?
When he was governor.
Is that right?
But in Lagos, you have Jack, you have all manner of people, you have a different arrangement. I think at the end of the day, everything ends in body law. So that's the structure of Lagos. But for that state, it's always the governor. But we'll see how it ends, really.
Do you think
now that you have
if Ƴesom is not the minister of the FCT, if he just finished his tenure and is somewhere in Port Harcourt, somewhere in Port Harcourt, just relaxing and resting, do you think he would wield so much power?
No. I think the fact that he's a minister now, he has a very good relationship with the president, is the reason why I think even a wiki understands his own weakness. And the only strength he has now, the only advantage and leverage he has now over a Fubara, for example, is the fact that he's a friend to the president. He's a cabinet minister. And so he enjoys the relationship he has with the president. And whether you like it or not, we have a very powerful president. The structure of governance in Nigeria confers so much power on the president, especially when it comes to the security arrangement at the state level. The IGP can cause crisis in your state and look away. Look at what has happened to local government secretariats in Rivers State, for example. They are still short. You understand? They are still under lock and key. And that goes back to the strength Abuja has over the state, especially when it comes to the control of the security arrangement at the state level. The governors are merely chief security officers just by mouth. In practice, in real practice, the presidency controls what happens at the state level. Through the IGP, then goes down to the commissioner of police. So the governor cannot even give instructions to the commissioner of police. That's the kind of structure we're on. So and Wike understands the power of the president. And so it was so easy for him to just stay with the president, work with the president, show solidarity with the president, so that he can continue to have that leverage over the governor.
Thank you very much. It's okay. The story is on page 7 of the Punch newspaper. Moving on now, we also have here recapitalization. Manufacturers, SMEs struggle as banks take over capital market. And that's on page 3 of the Punch newspaper. We also have here, still on the front page of the Punch, NNPC Dangote eye crude sale, product buyback deal. That's a
very interesting story. Very, very interesting. I think Vanguard also has that story. Revelations. Very interesting. In fact, the headline does not do justice to what is in that story. So I would advise that you take time to read and put out so much information from that story. It will help Nigerians.
Thank you. All right. We have a rider here that says NNPC team to monitor production at refinery. So the report coming in now is that the NNPC and Dangote refinery, they are wrapping up discussions on crude oil sales by NNPC to Dangote in Naira and the buyback of the refined products from the plant also in Naira. And the parties may have concluded discussions or may conclude discussions next week. All right. And a Dangote official has also revealed that oil marketers have continued to boycott the diesel and aviation fuel produced by Dangote, stressing that they had also reported the refinery to President Tinubu that the plant's low-priced diesel was counterproductive to oil businesses. I'm going to take it again because it's very interesting to read. Okay, so Dangote is saying that oil marketers are complaining that his diesel is too cheap.
It's too cheap.
And they're not just complaining that it's too cheap.
They even reported to the president.
They are reporting it. It's counterproductive. I don't get it. Well, aside from that, there's a lot, as Said Fuad had already mentioned, there's a lot to talk about this particular story, but that's the highlight for me. I've been looking forward to this particular conversation because it came up sometime yesterday evening or about that's when the report came in. I was looking forward to having this conversation. But then we also have here that Deva Kumar, that's the VP Oil and Gas. Yes, at Dangote. He also revealed that NNPC had demanded to oversee the production of refined products at Dangote refinery. What?
I'm with you now. They take your time.
NNPC, they have their own refinery. It's not working out. But they want to oversee the production of refined products in Dangote.
In another man's refinery.
Based on the fact that they are supplying
they have 7.2%.
No.
And they have 7.2%.
And that they have 7.2%. Or they own 7.2%. And they also provide crude that belongs to Nigerians. But it's okay. Let's leave that conversation. That they want to oversee the production of refined products at Dangote refinery. So it's sometime in August, it was reported that the federal government disclosed that sale of crude to Dangote and other refineries will commence on 1st of October. The Minister of Finance, Coordinating Minister of Economy, Wale Edun, announced that particular, statement. He said that during the implementation committee meeting on transition of crude oil sales in Naira, and it was also stated that the executive chairman of FIRS, Dr. Zak Adedeji, and also chairman of the technical subcommittee, reported that the first PMS delivery from Dangote is expected in September under existing agreements.
They wrote to the president according to DVK. What is saying?
Well, let me start with Naira transactions. So what we have here now is that they are still having a conversation with the government as regards crude in Naira. The discussion is still going on according to DVK. We say when we buy the crude from them in Naira, they will take the product from us in Naira. That's where we are. They are still having that particular conversation. So now whatever we are producing, they will buy back from us. In fact, NNPC has told us they will have a team of 6 to 10 people permanently stationed in our refinery. And they even told us we will give them office space because they are going to give us crude. All right, and they are going to monitor the production and then they will buy it back in Naira. So this is where we are, and we're waiting for the conclusion of the discussion.
On that one,
of that particular.
That one is in October.
That's that one.
The next thing.
All right. So there's also a lot to take away from that one, because there's a currency value conversation as well on that particular Naira transactions. But because we don't have so much time, let's go to marketers now. Importers of petrol or petroleum products and marketers reported Dangote to.
Who are the importers of who are the importers of petrol?
We have a sole importer.
So just put NNPCL there. I don't know why the report is avoiding to name anything.
No.
But Edwin was avoiding to mention them.
Because
Edwin did not mention them.
They are marketers.
Okay, so let's go. So you are ready.
All right, said reported Dangote to the president after the refinery crashed the price of diesel. And according to him, 90% of petroleum product importers in Nigeria, I don't know who they are, but it's fine, they are not buying from Dangote.
Why?
Is it because as it is now, the refinery is struggling to sell 29 tankers of diesel per day due to low patronage as a result of low patronage? Said, and I quote, petroleum products marketers in Nigeria have written to President Bola Tinubu complaining that the refinery's local diesel prices, which have dropped from 1,200 to 1,000 naira and now to 900 naira, is negatively impacting their businesses. See, Fuad, this is not funny. It's not funny.
Why?
we need to dig deeper into this, and it's just really unfortunate that we don't have so much time, because there's a lot to unpack from this particular conversation.
You think so? I don't mind saying on this story.
How is low pricing counterproductive to your business activity?
Especially for importers and marketers. Yesterday, Sandra, I told say, there was this summit where stakeholders, marketers in the oil sector were providing different solutions, talking about subsidy removal, pricing, blah, blah, blah. And I told say, I said, look, these guys are also part of the problem. And thank God this story has come out. That look, a lot of these guys are also beneficiaries of the very woeful, corrupt system that we have in the oil sector. These so-called marketers. And I'm surprised that, I think deliberately Edwin DVK was avoiding to mention the NNPCL. Because there's no way you talk about oil importation without talking about the NNPCL. And then, of course, you have marketers too, all collaborating to the point that they even wrote to the president and saying that, look, this guy is running business for us. And that was why I told you, Sandra, earlier in the week that, no, why is it that at the point when Dangote was going to release his PMS, there was suddenly an artificial scarcity? Suddenly the NNPCL now came up to say, oh, we are owing, we can't pay our suppliers. And then they created that artificial scarcity, and then prices went up. It was supposed, so I think it's a coup against the Dangote refinery. And that's why Dangote has not been able to see anything. He has the product, he can't even say this is the price I want to sell it. So if in the past, when he brought out his diesel and jet A1, and the prices were dropping, and some marketers are there country, and some importers, to write to the president and say that, look, the lower prices of this product from this facility is killing our business. That should tell you that there's something going on. Who are these importers, Sandra? Who are these marketers? And whose interests are they protecting? And so if you are talking about the cabal that Dangote has always been talking about, is that the cabal? You're talking about a particular cabal, a group of people who are hell-bent on ensuring that refinery does not work. And I might be one. I'm not going to listen to any importer or marketer again, because they are also part of the problem. And thank God Dangote has revealed it. Are you not surprised that after producing PMS, as he was about to release it to the market, we had sudden artificial scarcity, suddenly price started going up, and then you had the NNPC doing up and down. No, don't sell, dollar will determine it, foreign exchange will determine it. Anything will want their own. What interest? What are they trying to do? And so you have a situation where a Dangote cannot even fight them. He needs food from them, Sandra. It's always going to live at their mercy. So you now understand the complexity and the confusion we have, and if we are looking for the enemies of the state, this story tells you everything that you need to know, especially when it comes to the oil sector. These are the real enemies of the country. And look, Dangote cannot fight them. The only person that can save Dangote from them is the president. That's why Dangote at some point even told them that, look, wait my 20 billion, come and take the refinery. Because these are guys who want the status quo to remain. They want to continue to import and continue to this so-called even calculation of subsidy, landing cost. Who is verifying it? Are we even sure that the landing cost is what they are telling us? Who is even monitoring, the quantity of petrol that is being brought into the country? In that entire value chain, Sandra, people are making big money. On the top of the head of Nigeria, they are making big money, corrupt money. Devilish money. Hello, Sandra.
Yes, I'm with you for it.
It's also, at the end of the day, who's going to save us? It has to be the job of the president to save us from this cabal.
Well, Tʀᴇ said that if they're not going to buy, he said about 29 tankers are lifting fuel from the depot of other importers
2,900
daily and neglecting local production and asking if petrol will be sold locally. Well, they said that there's been a kind of blockade from lifting our products within the country. The traders have been trying to blockade, and so now we have been exporting our petroleum products. Look at that. And said that if they continue to do what they did with aviation, Jet A1 and diesel, will also, export PMS as well. That's what he's saying. That if that's the case, all right. So those are the that's the situation that we found ourselves.
So that was why you saw that when they asked Dangote how much are you going to sell your petrol?
They asked the FCC.
He bypassed the NNPC. He said the FEC.
That's it.
And the word FEC that he has used is basically telling the president, come and help me out. These guys are putting gun on my head. If you do nonsense, you will not get cool.
Hey. So look at that. It's really interesting. The marketers are saying that the Dangote refinery's low price diesel is counterproductive to their oil business.
like somebody said that if you study Nigeria, you understand this country. You are not a normal human being.
You didn't even study it well, because for you to understand it, something went wrong somewhere. So from 1,400, Dangote dropped it all the way down to 900. And the marketers are saying it is too cheap, please. And they are still importing, And it just takes me back to when Mele Kyari said that even if Dangote comes on board, they still continue to import. Anyways,
that the margin is just going to be small now. That it doesn't even change anything. Even if you are refining locally.
Aside from that, I also find really interesting NNPC requesting for an office station in Dangote refinery so that they can oversee the production of refined products at Dangote refinery. I mean, they don't trust it. But however, NNPC has.
Is it about quality control about what?
To make sure
it's about quality control. I think because you're talking about
rationalize that.
I don't know why they now have to have an office now, but that's not even the major issue for me. If they let them relocate their entire headquarters to Dangote refinery. It's a shameless act, really. You have your own 4 refineries, none of them is what. But if they should remove the NNPC headquarters and take it to Dangote refinery. The most important thing is that, look, who are the people stopping us from being able to refine these things locally and price in an affordable way to help poor Nigeria? Who are these guys?
Well, I also need to highlight a statement from Tʀᴇ here as regard, because I still need to take us back to the Naira conversation because the question arose as regards, will you be selling in Naira? And Kumar said, oh no, we are a free zone company, we will normally be selling in dollars, but they said no, the country is in acute scarcity of dollars, so please, we will supply the crude to you in Naira, so you sell it to us in Naira. Though internally some of us objected to the idea, but my president, that's Dangote himself now, said we are going to accept it because the country is badly in need of foreign exchange.
Forex, yeah.
Yes. Fuad, I would like to ask, crave your indulgence as regards the activities, around you there. It's causing.
Is it better now?
It's just causing, and then convert it in dollars we're not even getting dollars. By the time they convert it, the currency may become weaker. So we know Dangote is going to lose. And he said, and I quote, "I'm willing to take the loss in the interest of the country. I don't mind, but the country is in bad shape. Someone has to take the risk, and I'm willing to do that."
You know why? You know what? That they will continue to supply him crude in naira. If he continues to sell his products in naira, and the naira continues to be valued in this way, that's a problem. If he now has to go out there and use dollars to buy crude oil, because you are not even sure what the fate of the naira will be against the dollar going forward, because you have this situation of continuous devaluation of the naira, the free fall of the naira against the dollar. So if he's selling in naira and there's no guarantee that he will continue to get crude oil supply locally in naira, it's going to be dangerous for him because he's not getting forex. And if he has to now go out to buy crude in forex, there's going to be a problem. He probably will lose some money. So it still does, at the end of the day, I think this is a monopoly, blah, 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 and all of that. When it comes to this particular issue, I think Nigerians need to open up their minds, dig into the issue, and understand where the problem is coming from.
All right. Thank you very much. Crude sale and product buyback deal. Moving on, still on the front page. Moving on, still on trends in the papers on mainland 98.3 FM. I have here on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. The major headline is as regards Edo gubernatorials. Fragile peace deal stokes insecurity, apathy, fears, and that's on page 6. Of the Guardian newspaper. We also have here protesters demand release of detained PDP members in Edo, and that's on page 28 of the Guardian. We also have here flooding, allow dam repairs cost 762 million naira in 12 years and 26 million naira before collapse. Look at that, hundreds of millions of naira on a dam that still caused, some irreparable damage to an entire city.
Well, Sandra, the Nimet woman was saying yesterday that the people managing the dam should be held responsible to a large extent. That the rule, after there are several warnings that the rains are going to come, the waters are going to come heavy, was to release the water bit by bit so that it doesn't overflow. It doesn't get to the point where it fills up and then bit by bit. So that it doesn't get to the point where it collapses. So again, who are these guys managing our dams? And that's why we need to pay attention to other dams too.
Well, that story, that particular story is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. We also have here, COP to Tinubu, you've lost touch with reality. COP, that's Coalition of United Political Parties, is doubtful of President Bola Tinubu's consciousness of present realities in the country, noting that the president's rhetoric often emphasized prudence and sacrifice, while his actions tell a different story. I think this is something we have always, put out here.
There's nothing to add to that.
Exactly.
They said it all. Nothing to add.
All right. It's an interesting read. You may get further details on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. And finally, we also have here, hackers intensify attacks on educational institutions for ransom, says report, and that's on page 7. We also have here PSC, that's Police Service Commission, bars police officers from investigating land and marital matters. Why?
These are things that should be, it's supposed to go to court as a civil matter, but a lot of times, the police find a way to now criminalize it, to say, okay, maybe these are the threat to life and head. So what they are saying is that, look, land matters are supposed to be, just take your case to court, but somebody orders one police officer, and you now arrest this one, bail this one, and whereas these are civil matters, husband and wife issue, Sandra. Unless there's threat to life somewhere, which is also the reason why the police comes, it's largely a civil matter. If you don't want to marry yourself again, take yourself to court and dissolve the thing.
It's all right. The story is on page 8, and that's all we can take from the Guardian newspaper. Finally, this morning on trends in the papers, on the front page of Vanguard, petrol price, NNPCL Dangote in gritty horse trading, and we have right accepting any price. And that's coming from NNPC. If they fail to buy from us, we'll export, says Dangote. Depot owners have petitioned. I don't know. I'm sorry, I can't get past this. They wrote a letter to the president. Depot owners have petitioned President Tinubu over diesel price scarcity. Hawkers sell cheaper than fuel stations.
Another strange development.
What's going on? I thought black marketers were more expensive.
The report, the Vanguard report is saying that the source of black marketers who are selling cheaper than even the filling stations. It's strange, actually.
That's very, very strange. And it just tells the source of that particular fuel. If the filling stations are selling higher than what the black marketers are selling, it tells a lot as regards the source. Where the
quality of the fuel
and the quality of the fuel as well. Well, the story is on page 14, pages 5 and 14 for this particular headline on the front page of Vanguard newspaper. Above the masthead of Vanguard, we have here 48 million Nigerians still practice open defecation. Stop doing this, is not good. But no. All right, that's coming from UNICEF, and the story is on page 10 of Vanguard newspaper. 400 Nigerians deported from UAE. They have arrived in Abuja, and that's on page 9. Now, that's all we can take this morning on trends in the papers. We'll take a short commercial break. When we come back, we open the phone line for you to join the conversation on Milan Focus, and that will be by 8:40. So please stay tuned.